ARK are backpedaling on their new roadmap update in today's community crunch. Price point changes and the reveal of the brand new Rhyniognatha and an ARK Easter event, as well as much more in today's video. Hello everybody, my name is Kiahonfire and welcome to ARK Survival Evolved. Today we're looking at the community crunch which just got released just a few moments ago, and it's interesting, this one, because they are going back on what they said last week about the roadmap, which a lot of people had. They were absolutely fuming at last week's roadmap, and it's been really interesting to read everybody's thoughts and opinions on why they're doing it, what they don't like, and the things that devs have been saying on their Twitter that are not true, and the disconcerns with that, So this one goes over it and what they're trying to explain. So let's go over the big juicy part first, which is the price point and bundle changes. They are scrapping the ARK Respawn bundle. Absolutely scrapping it. Wow. They say our intention behind this was to provide a package where you essentially got two products for the price of one. In hindsight, not the best move. Are bad. We recognise how combining ARK Survival Ascended with ARK2 and requiring further DLC upgrades wasn't optimal, since you wouldn't be able to judge ARK2 as no gameplay or content would be available yet. Very true. That was one of my concerns, that I'd be paying for ARK2, which, I'll probably get anyway, but I would like to see what it is about first, because when I read the blurb for what ARK2 was going to be, when they said things like Dark Souls combat and only third person, I was a bit like, am I going to enjoy it as much? Because they were kind of turn off words for me, I'm not going to lie. And it's not because I don't like that or Dark Souls. It is because when you combine that into ARK, does that make it ARK anymore? You know what I mean? Because the things you enjoy with ARK is like the freedom you get with it. And that sounded like, to me, when I read it, really linear. And that's one thing I really fear with ARK2, if it's going to be a very linear game, that has a very linear story and doesn't give you much freedom outside of, this is the direct path you have to go and the only way you can go kind of game. That's the thing I'm concerned about with the game. I would have liked to see, ASA footage or ARK2 footage. There is no ASA footage, unfortunately, in this crunch. However, they go over the next point of what they're doing now. They are saying ARK Ascended will now be a standalone package for all platforms, so PC, Steam, Xbox Series S and X, and PlayStation 5, and the new price point for it is about $60. Why is it $60? Because they are now combining what used to be the £40 upgrade into about a £10 upgrade all into one. So they're including Island, Survival of the Fittest, Scorched Earth, Aberration, Extinction, both Genesis parts, and all the community created maps, which were free anyway. But they're going to say they're also going to be released over the time of 2024. So this is Fjordor, Ragnarok, The Center, Lost Island, Valgyro, and Crystal Isles. So all of those maps 2024. So now it's all going to be an all-in-one thing, and you won't have to pay about $90 just to get ASA ARK2 and all of the DLCs included. However, that does give me the question of what are they going to charge for ARK2 now? Will we still have to pay $90 in the end, or even more? And what is going to be the results of that? Because they didn't really tell us what they're going to sell ARK2 for. Perhaps they don't know, because it seems like ARK2 is really early in development right now. I don't even know what they have for it, but I don't think it's much, considering we're only getting concepts. So it is a bit concerning what they might price ARK2 as now, but I think the $60 is not bad, because we have all the DLCs in there. They were going to sell ASA for about the same price anyway, so I'm not too fussed on that one. I'm actually quite glad they've gone in that route, and it is about $9 more. That's much better than $90, but it does give me the question of what they're going to price ARK2 as. Let me know if you're happy with this decision, or this is something you don't like and you would have preferred the previous. To me, I prefer this version than the previous, because it means I'm not dishing out $90 to buy all of the other stuff. They also actually mention no longer a backward compatible free update. So they're going over what was said on Twitter, where Jeremy said, to clarify, UE5Ts a couple weeks back is referring to inline works of a complete free upgrade and remaster of ARK Survival Evolved. They say initially when we had first considered doing a UE5 update, we planned just to port the Switch version of the game and undo the graphical limitations required for that hardware. So it's pretty much it was going to be just a graphics upgrade. We weren't going to maximize the potential of the new technology, we weren't going to introduce any of the new gameplay changes, and they weren't going to do any of the critical design changes that they would have to impact on existing save datas. So they wouldn't have done any of that. But they say after carefully considering what that would be, the best outcome for those who enjoy ARK Survival Evolved and would want to continue to enjoy it for years to come, they decided that their initial plan wouldn't have been sufficient. They wanted to provide us with an evergreen classic ARK experience, one could continue to grow over time on a cleaned up code base. Okay, making use of the new technological advancements, not only in the industry, but also in what we're working on with ARK2. That's some pretty bold wording. Cleaned up base code? We still have bugs from like day one in there, pretty deeply ingrained. So this would be this is actually really interesting if they are going to do it properly and optimize it like really good. This could be amazing for ASA, honestly, and this sounds really good over just a graphics upgrade, because that's what a lot of people considered it was, just a graphics upgrade. And I guess that's what they originally planned to do, which I think about it, sure would have been great free, but if they're going to rework a load of things and make it better, sure, I would love that. Playing ARK how it is originally, but with better graphics and more optimized, win-win to me. I love ARK, and doing this, putting it on UE5, a new technology, and keeping it going and going and going, you'll get ARK years and years to come, where on the old UE4 update, how far can you go with it, you know? You get to a point. So it's good to see they're doing the UE5 update, because it means they care about ARK for the future in those regards, where you're going to get more ARK, you know? They're not just going to cut the game off and kill it, you know? They are continuing it in a way, but mind you, it does kill it for older generations and old technology, but that does happen in gaming. You look at a lot of Steam games these days, and I can't play them, most of the games I have now, with my old graphics card. I can now with my new one, but I can't with my old one, for most new releases. So these things do happen. Anyway, going back to the text, we weren't trying to mislead you with earlier comments. Our plans and overall intentions changed. So you are probably asking, why don't we make these upgrades to the original ARK Survival Evolved? Frankly, it would not be viable. Many of the changes we are making to ASA will touch a lot of aspects of the game. It will invalidate save data. Some mods may not be functional. Some things not play the same way as they did before. And we didn't want to change that experience for those who prefer or are unable to upgrade. So basically, they're leaving the old one alone. If you do have the old technology, you can still play ARK basically, whereas if they made it ASA, you wouldn't be able to play it anymore, is what they're pretty much saying. Reading this a bit, I would have personally liked a personal apology, if you know what I mean, from the actual person, Jeremy. Because it was his screw up. Nobody else's, his screw up, okay? I feel like he should have made a personal apology on that one, not just let the community managers and everything take the brunt of it, you know what I mean? So I don't know about that, with him misleading you with earlier comments. He needed to clear that up a lot sooner than he did. I still don't feel like he's apologised properly. He's just letting other people apologise for him. Unless he's writing this, I don't know. It doesn't say by Jeremy, does it? But yeah, even if things change and whatever, you gotta realise what you say on your official platforms as a developer. People are going to take that as fact, okay? Because you gotta think, people hold developers to an extremely high regard. They are creating and making someone's favourite hobby or their favourite thing to do. And what you say as a developer is extremely important. It's no different from a content creator. What you say is extremely important and influential to the people that watch you. So you have to be careful with what you say. So I'm hoping in the future he will maybe just leave it to the community managers to do that job, and before blurting anything important out. And I hope that's a lesson to him. Because what happened, it was not okay. It left a lot of people feeling betrayed by the company, and a lot of other feelings. I took the longest time to fully digest it. It was some hard news last week, let's be honest. But yeah, I feel like he should just let the community managers that he's hired do their job. Stop letting out important information and realise your standpoint, you know? They're also going over here their thoughts of the decision to sunset the ARK Survival official network offline on August 31st, shortly before ASA launch. They're doubling down on it, so they're saying they're still going ahead with it. They're not backlogging on that one. So they're still going ahead with it, and their reasoning on that one is the servers are essentially based on old technology and require significant development resources and the time for our teams to operate and maintain. In some cases, the issues aren't that easily solvable without an overall upgrade. Additionally, we know that those resources could be better utilised and fundamentally new technology to further enhance the overall game experience for all players. My thoughts on that one? I feel like they need to give people more time to save, because a lot of people probably do want to play the ASA launch. Maybe they're on official still, you know? I feel like even if it's just a few official servers, like 5, 5 or 6 of different kinds, even if you don't have a big number of people on them, just leave a few servers behind. Not that many, just a very small amount. So people can still play on official and stuff, why they can upgrade and save for their new machine upgrades if they did want to play ASA and go on there. Because I feel like it's too short of an announcement and time for people on official on older systems to be able to save up and buy the next generation of console or whatever. So if you're strictly like an official player and you're on an old system and you don't have the money, you're being left in the dirt basically. Like, they should at least leave a few official servers for people to play on whilst this happens. Maybe you leave it a year, let them save up over a year, move over if they want to, then shut them off. I feel like this is way too soon of an announcement for letting people save up and buy new consoles if they wanted to play ASA. You're kind of leaving them in the dirt. So I feel like they should at least have a few official servers, even if it's not many. Maybe just leave one server on or something to let people play. It's not that much maintenance, honestly. Some good news, they'll be sending off ARK Survival Evolved with the Rhyniognatha, so you'll be getting that on their 8th anniversary in June. This is the concept of it. It actually looks pretty cool. I must admit, it doesn't really look like anything much of the other one looked like when we read it, but I kind of expected that because it had a lot of OP abilities when I last read it. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to transform into a Tuso at all. Which, again, was a bit OP, kind of expected, but it's interesting to see what it's like. And I'm hoping they do bring this over to ASA as well, because it wouldn't make sense just leaving it on original ARK. It's new, and in a month or two's time, you're just going to abandon it anyway, and most people are probably going to drop the game, unless they're in special circumstances, or they don't want to invest in the new ASA. Here's some things to expect at the launch of ASA. New features, etc. What you're going to see: content drops, creatures, items, structures, and DLC. They're going to introduce dynamic navigation mesh and creature pathfinding. So AI pathfinding overhaul. That's pretty huge. The AI in ARK can be derpy at times, but if they're making it better, you could see some really impressive stuff. Kind of like how you see in Sons of the Forest. Some of the AI on there is extremely impressive. So to see more impressive AI in ARK, That's got to be a big win-win. They're adding a proper photo mode. Hooray, that's actually really good. They're adding the NVIDIA DLSS, also really good. Dino and baby management, quality of life. We maybe won't have to babysit babies for ages anymore, potentially. So this could be really good. I hope this is a really good change here. This sounds super promising. I was actually quite worried with this because you wouldn't be getting the May wings that help out on official, and it could be going back to the old official island days where you didn't really have anything and you had to keep imprinting things every 4 hours if you wanted a full imprint, and it was ass. It was horrible. So I'm hoping they're not going down that route and they're going to add something else there to make that a lot better. They're also adding wild babies. That's right, a lot of mods have emulated this, but they're actually doing it. So that sounds awesome. I wonder if the mothers will now be protective of their babies and get extra angry at you or something. That'd be really neat to see either way. Something for the builders, snap point improvements. New snaps and logic improvements. That's really exciting. So maybe you'll be able to break the game more now? Or maybe it will just be more solid with how it is. But that sounds exciting to me because sometimes building an ARK can be really frustrating for just the casual player. This is exciting. Character creation and customization improvements. I wonder how we're going to be able to customize our characters in the future. This could be really interesting. For one, I'm hoping for more hair options and stuff like that. I always appreciate a game that has like tons of options to characterize your character to make it feel more you, or just make some wacky monster still. But yeah, that sounds really good. I like the sound of that. And they said cross-platform multiplayer and blueprint modding. Ooh, they're serious. It's happening on PC and consoles at launch. So they've said at launch, and we've got it working internally with Overwolf technology. They say the list is not exhaustive. We're hoping to get even more done, and the only reason we aren't covering all the details right now is we're still working on them. It takes a significant amount of resources and time at the studio, and we don't want to commit to other particular features unless we are sure we can get them in for launch. Thank goodness. And yeah, we may miss our deadline on certain aspects, but they're coming over time, and we'll continue to support this next generation of ARK. My thoughts on that one: don't plan things too early if you feel like you still got a lot to do. It's important to have deadlines, but it's also extremely important to communicate to your community. So if it comes up to a week and you're not ready yet, say it then, not the day before the release. Okay, don't rush with your heads off. Get the product right and release it. Don't do the silly rushy thing. Nobody likes the silly rushy thing. Delay what you need to delay. People on the initial that don't think very much about it might think delays, pooey, don't like them. For me, I like delays because it means that one, being honest, and two, getting the product right before they release it and not giving you a half-baked, shoddy crap item. So, delays are good, okay? Even if you don't think so. If it means they get it right the first time, then you don't have to wait for the second time. I'd rather it be right the first time. So, delay if you need to. Be honest. Some people might not like it, but honestly, overall, you'll be doing yourself the world of good, and you won't have people going, me, ARK is being delayed again, and that's their reputation and whatever else, because that is your reputation right now. Oh dear. And then one final thing to finish off, they have a new community creature submissions. So for the new ASA, they are introducing a fan-voted real-world creature that will launch on day 1. So if they haven't got enough to work on already, they're now giving themselves some more things to work on. I don't get you, Wildcard, sure. Oh, they say the creature will be on Scorched Earth, so make sure the real-world submissions are in theme with the map. We'll also be adding an additional real-world creature for each sequential canonical experience map. So that's a lot of words to say. They'll be adding a real-world creature for the canonical experience pack map. So they've confirmed here the expansion is a map. So those who saying it wasn't, it is a map for ASA. So there you go. Oh yes, and I forgot to say, the Evo event. There will be an Easter event for you guys, and it's mostly just going to be a colour one and some rate changes. So lots of new colours. You can start it right now, so just make sure you have Easter enabled on your server to enjoy the Easter event. But that's pretty much all from the crunch today. If you want to see it in full, make sure you check it in the description. I will put a link to it there, as I always do. But thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts on this new backpedal and different changes. Let me know what you think. And thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!